Right, 29 April 2024, and today I'm going to be giving you yet another update on everything that is happening. I know that you always look forward to these updates on a Monday, and this week is particularly very eventful. We've got three main events taking place this week, and by the end of the week, there's going to be a bit of clarity of what is happening within the CCC or within Chamisa's new political party. So I've got an update on Chamisa, and I also want to look at what is going to happen with the burial of the national heroes and also with the launch of the ZIG. So these are three very important events that are going to take place this week. So let's start with Nelson Chamisa. Nelson Chamisa is started to prepare for the presidential elections, for the fresh presidential elections. And what is happening is that the party of Nelson Chamisa is starting to take shape. They're going all over the country, first in Zimbabwe, and then eventually they're going to go into the diaspora. But what they've done this weekend is they've gone back to Matabeleland and they're covering the whole of Matabeleland, so that, as you know, Matabeleland is the strong base of Chamisa's support and, in fact, of all the opposition. That is where most of the support of the opposition is. And Chamisa, through his team that is going around the country, which is Amos Chibaya, Dubeko Banda, and Ostallos, Gift Ostallos Zimbabwe, they have been around in Filabusi, which is the provincial capital or administrative capital of Insiza. I don't know if it's the other way around. So that is where they were, and the message was clear. They are preparing for a fresh election, a fresh presidential election. The focus is on a new election that is going to come sometime. I do not know when the election is going to come, but that is where Chamisa's focus is. So I want you to at least have a look at what both Chibaya and Ostallos said about the fresh elections. Then we'll take it from there. So let's start with Ostallos, and then we'll go to Chibaya after that.
Let's go village by village.
Asambeni village by village.
Do the back.
Siyakha inhlanganiso.
Let us create the base. Let's create the foundation.
Asizakheleni.
Let's all the ground for the new. So when you go now for fresh election,
Asisekhethelo lutsha.
can my village yes,
Ngama village wonke
agbalisa,
egcwele abantu bethu.
you win.
Siyawina.
Right, so as you can see, they're building the structures from the ground, and it's clear that this is Nelson Chamisa who has sent these guys to go out there and start the mobilization process, and Chibaya is the organizing secretary. So this appointment was announced by Gift Ostallos Zimbabwe at the same meeting.
Akekho ozasikhulula ngaphandle kokubana thina sisukumeni sonke sithini asisafuni le ZANU PF.
Esilandile kunhlanganiso kwaba kuChamisa ukuzothi bakithi godlayo siyabonga ngenxa yokuthi lasi votela ngobunene. Thina we're here to say Filabusi, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Into qale silandileyo esibili ikuzolitshela ukuthi singa sibuye lapha lo baba uChibaya ongumqoqo wenhlanganiso ukuthi sizolitshela ukuthi singaphi njalo siyangaphi, ngoba abanengi bengayeduka ngokungatholi the necessary information. The parliament is not the destination for the alternative. Sathi se parliament ukuthi selungisa umthetho. Into ekhulula iZimbabwe lentshintsha impilo yabantu ukuthi siwine i-presidential vote.
Right, so I think I just need to unpack for those who don't understand Isindebele. So what Ostallos is saying there is two main points, which is that the CCC as an old party of Nelson Chamisa does not exist anymore. There is a new structure that they're forming, which is where Chibaya is. And Chibaya is the organizing secretary of the new structure. They're going around the country. setting up new structures under the Blue Movement. And the focus is not on the parliamentary elections, but on the presidential elections. So that is what Ostallos is saying, and this is what they're going to be saying. And also Dubeko, Prince Dubeko's banda. So that team has been going around the country, setting up those new structures, and the focus is on the presidential elections. So you are going to see this happening all over the country. They are also going to different areas. So next week there will be another place, and so forth, as they keep going around the country. And the new party, you eventually see also Chamisa coming out to address and to give direction on what needs to happen. But the old CCC structures are no longer functional. There is no connection between what is happening in the CCC with what's happening now with these new structures that are being set up by Chibaya. So Chibaya, if you saw previously, we mentioned that he was standing there with the CCC guys, Mkwananzi specifically. He is not with Mkwananzi. They are not with that group of Timber. He is with the group that is forming the Blue Movement. As you can see, he was officially announced as the CCC, sorry, as the new Blue Movement organizing secretary. So Chibaya will be leading the organizing department of the new party, which Nelson Chamisa is setting up. And I'd rather call it a movement than a party. I do not think they're setting up a party in the traditional sense. So I hope that is clear. We'll be going on to give you more details. As I get more details, I'll be giving you details. I know that I got calls from guys in the diaspora to say, what is our part in this whole thing? What is going to happen? I also got calls from guys in Zambia yesterday saying they want to be involved. And if you want to be involved, you can give me a call. I'll put you in touch with the right people so that you can ask the questions to the actual people who are involved in the setting up of the Blue Movement structures. This thing is properly structured. There are people behind the scenes. It's not only the three guys you're seeing. So if you want to know who to talk to, if you're in the diaspora, I'll give you the contacts if you don't have them already. But it's not the original CCC structures. So don't go to Mkwananzi or to Timber if you want to know what is happening with Chamisa. Then I want to quickly run through the rest of the important events that are going to take place this week. So let's look at the ZIG. The ZIG has crashed on the black market, and I'm now tired of saying the same words every day. The ZIG has crashed because there is no formal way of people transacting, so retail transacting. And they've tried to address that this week with the new banknotes that are going to come out tomorrow, and the notes and the coins that are coming out tomorrow. So let's see how that affects the price of the ZIG on the black market. Because at the moment, the ZIG is being transacted electronically, and it has crashed to between 20 and 30. So the official rate is 1:13, but on the black market is trading as 1:20, between 1:20 and 1:30. And I hope that we don't have a sudden crash this week. That is a possibility that we can have another crash as the notes start circulating, especially if they don't have them in the ATM. Is you know that they don't want to put money in the ATM because the same guys that are supposed to put money in the ATM are the guys who are selling the money on the black market. So that is why they don't want it to be widely available in the ATM. Then I want to look at the burial of the heroes. So we're going to be having the burial of 3 national heroes today. I've been carrying this story for a very, very long time. I'm going to give you more details after the burial. There's more information that I've received. So after the burial, I'll give you more details on what is happening there. So that is Zimiri is getting buried today together with Veja. So Veja is also getting buried today. And there is the lady from Tungiza that I showed you who is also getting buried today. So there's 3 burials taking place today in the National Heroes Eka, and I'll be able to show you details tonight. I'm going to come back and talk about it and all the events that have happened surrounding the burial. So you can look forward to that, but you can also watch the state press. They are going to be having all those details that you need to know about the actual burial taking place. But there's obviously things happening behind the scenes that I'll be giving you information on. Then I want to go to the issue of Wikino Chivayo. This is trending. Wikino Chivayo is causing massive division within ZANU PF. There is a possibility that Chivayo could be appointed to a government position. So this is in today's Newsday newspaper. That it's possible that Chivayo might be appointed to a government position, and no one knows why Mnangagwa is walking around with Chivayo. And obviously, I know what's happening. I've had lots of long discussions with people around who know what's going on. And Chivayo's game plan is simple. Chivayo is preparing the road for the twins. So the twins, one of the twins is going to probably take over, and that is what Mnangagwa plans. So Auxilia Mnangagwa and Mnangagwa have been preparing the way for the twins, or one of their sons, to take over as president after Mnangagwa is gone, since he's failing to go for a third term. So this is a well-known thing that is happening. That is why Chivayo has been handing out the cars. That is because Chivayo is a runner for the guys that are going to come. That is the Mnangagwa dynasty that is trying to be set up. And when it comes to where Chivayo is getting the money, I explained to you in December that Chivayo won a court case against ZESA, where he won a big settlement of over 20 million, a bizarre court ruling, where he got 28 million US dollars. That was a fine imposed on ZESA because apparently their CEO did not appear at the court. So when they were supposed to give evidence in court against Chivayo, Chivayo went to the court, but the CEO of ZESA did not go. So they ended up losing 28 million, which was then handed over to Chivayo. So from 28 million, if you take 2 million and start buying cars and splashing them around, that's very, very simple. It can easily be done. But this is very controversial, and I don't think people like General Chiwenga are going to allow that situation to persist, where Chivayo can probably or potentially be appointed into the vice presidency without a fight. So what Mnangagwa is basically trying to do is to outmaneuver General Chiwenga using Chivayo. And I don't know if that will end well. I don't think that will end well. But that is basically what is happening. And that is what my sources are saying. That Chivayo is playing a critical role in the plans of the Mnangagwa dynasty, where they want to sidestep General Chiwenga and put in one of the sons as the next president of Zimbabwe to protect their interests. So that is something that we're going to be watching for a very, very long time. The succession battle in ZANU PF is just starting. There are things that are happening behind the scenes that when they start happening, you can't hide them. They are going to be happening right in front of our eyes. And I want you to look at what Chamisa is doing, but at the same time, you should know that we're in for a longer period, not the next 2 or 3 years. The transition that we're going into is going to take at least 10 years. So that's my prediction, that the period between Mnangagwa and the next president is going to be approximately 10 years, where we're going to have a transitional setup. And you know that a transitional setup comes after a period of difficulty. So I'm expecting and predicting some very difficult times ahead. And things have already started rolling. Things have started happening. And those who know, they know what I'm talking about. Now let's go to Africa News, and then I'll look at the comments. In fact, before I go to Africa News, I want to look at British Ambassador Peter Vols, what he did this week. He went to see Auxilia Mnangagwa. So I hope I've got a video of this whole thing. And he helped her to cook. So unfortunately, I don't have that video. I would have wanted you to see how he reacted. Peter Vols did not eat the food that Mnangagwa was preparing, Auxilia Mnangagwa was preparing at the ZITF. And I would have wanted you to see that, but unfortunately, I don't have that video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to load it on our TikTok. So within the next 20 to 30 minutes, you can go to our TikTok. You see how British Ambassador Peter Vols reacted when he was helping the Mnangagwa Auxilia to cook at the ZITF. So check out our TikTok. Our TikTok is doing very, very well. And In fact, I predict that most of the traffic, of our traffic, is going to be coming out of TikTok within the next few years. That platform is growing a lot, but obviously this YouTube is our main channel. That is where we do most of our broadcasting. And what I'm going to do is we'll eventually move away from the rest of the platforms and use TikTok and YouTube as our main platforms. So check it out within the next 20 minutes. And then obviously there's a new political party that was formed yesterday, Zimbabwe Independence Movement, by Abigail Mnyoro of Glenview. She's the previous independent candidate of Glenview. So you can also check it out on our TikTok, but I'll give you a clip of that right now.
That marks an initial giant step towards a better Zimbabwe. The launch of a new party of the people, by the people, and for the people. Zimbabwe Independence.
Right, so you can see the rest of it on our TikTok. As I said, I do not understand what her game plan is. I do not understand the new political parties that are coming out. They seem to announce themselves and then they go away. But I can say that of all the groups, ZIFA, the Zimbabwe Economic Freedom Fighters Alliance, I can say those are the most serious guys that you can, at the moment, say they will be able to do anything. They are very organized and they've got the muscle and capacity to do what they're saying they're going to do. I've had a check on their capacity, and it's clear to me that Zephyr is able to do what they say they can do. They're a very, very powerful group. So please go and sign the petition that they put out. Mnangagwa must step down petition. You can go just Google Emerson Mnangagwa step down petition. That is a petition that they've sent out, and I'm very, very clear that those guys are able to do what they say they can do. And then in terms of Africa news, and in fact, before we go to Africa news, TikToker Blessing Empress Mabasa, that's a Zimbabwean TikToker. She has died this week suddenly, and I don't know what happened. So I was just looking at TikTok, and I saw that people are saying rest in peace all over the place. So she has passed away. She is one of the biggest TikTokers in Zimbabwe. She's got over 20,000 followers, and she appears to have had a fall during the week. And then I saw her on crutches, and after a while, I've heard that she suddenly passed away. And on checking, it was said that she had a clot, a blood clot. I don't know the actual word that they use in medical field, but that blood clot then went on and caused her death. So it was, if you have an injury, take it seriously, because you don't know what can happen, even if it's a small injury. So what she said was that the children left a skateboard somewhere and she stepped on it. And that is very sad, because it was quite unfortunate if that was the case, that she died because of such a thing. It was such a small fall in the beginning, but eventually it led to her death. So I can show you maybe a few pictures here of her on the last day. I think she shared, on her very last day, she shared herself going up the stairs in crutches. So this is the last picture that I can see here of the leg. So this eventually caused the death, from my understanding, that there was a blood clot that caused her death. So that is what I've seen online, but I don't know the actual details of what caused the death, but that is what people have said. So if you're a follower, as you can see, 20,000 is quite a big number. So if you're a follower, then you can go to platforms and check the rest in peace messages that have been put out there. People are saying rest in peace to Empress Blessing Empress Mabasa. She's a popular TikToker from Zimbabwe. Then I want to look at a big raid that is taking place in South Africa. There is an international operation that took place, resulting in the arrest of Durban actor Anthony Steiner. So you can go and look at this. This is quite big, a multinational operation that resulted in this actor Anthony Steiner being arrested in Durban. And this is a big problem. As I said to you, if you've got children, you must be extra careful. There is a lot of people out there that are not very good. So this guy has been arrested along with 3 other people, and multiple images have been taken from their homes, and 2 children have been removed from his home, from Anthony's home. So you can go and check out that story. It's trending right now in South Africa. This happened yesterday, and this actor has been arrested, a South African actor. So I think let's look at the comments, then we'll recap. It's a Friday, it's a Monday now. I need to go and run to the gym. I want to start with all the greetings. Thank you very much, Nini. Thank you, Masugo. Thank you, Ernest. And thank you to everyone who is giving me a greeting here this morning. And then Kudzai says, new election before 5 years. This has moved from a circus to a psychiatric ward. So, yeah, let me explain what I think about what Chamisa is doing. So, within the next 3 months, we're going to have a spectacular collapse of Mnangagwa's government. Mnangagwa's government is fake. Everything that is doing is not real. The ZIG, all these things that Mnangagwa is doing, they're not real. He's not paying the suppliers. His projects are not running. So Mnangagwa is trying to buy time. So if you're smart, you do what Chamisa is doing, which is to prepare for the sudden and unexpected collapse of Mnangagwa's government, which is coming. So that is what Chamisa is doing. And I believe Kuti, Chamisa is not in the wrong direction here. I believe he's in the right direction. The only thing I want to do, what I want to see, is Chamisa coming out and laying out a direction. Because when the collapse comes, it will be sudden. So Mnangagwa's government is going to collapse suddenly. You wake up one morning and something would have happened that you didn't expect. And Mnangagwa is going to lose control of this situation because the ZIG, that is the beginning of the fall of Mnangagwa's government. That thing is fake. It doesn't mean anything and they cannot sustain it. And I've said to you before that before they introduced the ZIG, Mnangagwa's government was left with 3 weeks to collapse. There was no money in the government. There was no money in the system. So now they've created new money. But the fact that it collapsed by 80% in the first week, it should tell you that what is going to happen is going to be sudden. So Chamisa is doing the right thing to plan, but I do not think we're going to go from a Mnangagwa government to a Chamisa government. What we're going to have is Mnangagwa collapse, transitional system, which lasts about 10 years, and then fresh elections. So we still need structures. So there's need for structures. And then Tanoza says, it's also dangerous to support these opposition guys because they're in politics for themselves, not for the noble cause. I think Chamisa is not in it for himself. If Chamisa wanted to do it for himself, he could have caused the violence after the elections. Very easy. Chamisa could have just said to everyone, go on the street. If Chamisa says people go to the street today, they will go. I can assure you that if Chamisa gave the order right now to say, everyone, let's go on the street, it will happen. So Chamisa is not in it for himself. And then Mkoba Tinashe says the main problem will be infiltration. People now focus on their pockets. If the focus is on the presidential election, no one can take on Chamisa. That one everyone knows. Yes, Chamisa, the most popular person in Zimbabwe by far. So if you want to do anything in Zimbabwean politics, you have to do it with Chamisa. He's got a massive following, almost, what can I say? A religious following. That is what Chamisa has got. That is what is going to push Chamisa to continue where he is right now. And then Mkoma Pass, Mark says, Gambakwe, you don't understand Warakashi. No election soon. Yes, I didn't say election. I said collapse. So I think I need to clarify this. Mnangagwa's government is not going to be taken away by an election. There's going to be a collapse of the Mnangagwa government. And then what happens after that, I do not know. So that is why I'm saying to you, the whole system, the whole Mnangagwa government system is a mirage, or as I said, a fake. There is no government that can survive under these current circumstances, where everything is smokes and mirrors. There's nothing real about what Mnangagwa is doing. What have you seen that is getting better in Zimbabwe? The only thing you're seeing on the news is Auxilia Mnangagwa doing rallies, Mnangagwa and Chibaya handing out cars, and what else? what real thing is coming, what material thing is coming. The ZIG, is that material? What is the ZIG? So everything that they're doing is to buy time and hope that people will eventually buy into their vision, which won't happen. No one is going to buy into Mnangagwa's vision because there's none. There's nothing in Mnangagwa's vision right now. And that is where Chamisa needs to step in so that when the eventual collapse comes, then Chamisa can step in with other people. Because as I said, there's going to be a transitional system. We're not moving from Chamisa, from Mnangagwa to Chamisa. We're moving from Chamisa to dialogue, and probably, as Zephyr said, so that will be collapse, dialogue, referendum, transitional system, and then we go to a new government which follows an election. And this is what Chamisa is trying to do, to set up new structures that are not infiltrated with all these other people that were there, that were infiltrating, that were working for both ZANU PF and CCC. If you look at Chabangu, Mkwananzi, Timba, right now they're in negotiation with ZANU PF for an extended period for ZANU PF. So that is why you see ZANU PF focusing on the parliamentary. They want to extend their rule, their ability to change the rules, whereas Chamisa is focusing on the president. So there's a serious shift towards where do we go next. That is where everyone is focused. Everyone knows that what we currently have now is not the real thing. It is a step to the next thing. So I think I've probably explained that what we have now is not where we're going. We're just in a transitional period, which will lead to something else. And both sides understand that we're not there yet. The previous election was not accepted, and that's not a basis for what is happening in the future. The new thing that is happening is going to come after this. And then Mkoma Kuda says Gambakwe Zephyr is nothing. Mkoma Kuda, give me your number and your location. Then told out is Zephyr a real thing or not. Zephyr, I do trust Zephyr very, very much. And I've known the Zephyr guys for a long time. They are doing very, very well. The Zephyr guys, they are going to be a game changer in Zimbabwean politics. That I can assure you. Maybe I can't tell you exactly everything that I know, but the Zephyr guys are a game changer. So don't take Zephyr as a light thing. So I don't know who this information is useful to. Do not take Zephyr as a small thing. They are a very, very serious group. They are very strategic, and I like the Zephyr guys. So go and sign their petition and make sure that you watch very closely what's going to happen now. Where we are going is not the same as where we're coming from. It's going to be sudden. The thing that is going to happen, it's going to be quick. And Mnangagwa is going to lose control very, very soon. So I would like to end it here. As I said, I'll be back tonight to look at what has happened with the burial. Let's look at the speeches. Let's look if there's anything in there. And also you can be following our newsreaders during the day. We've got people in Harare that will be looking at all the events that happen. Our partnership with JCTV Zimbabwe is doing very, very well. You can also look at all the live, the launch of the parties and all that is happening. There is a lot happening behind the scenes. Don't take it as a normal period. And then Mkoma Peter is saying, you know the Zephyr guys will Gambakwe. I'll be serious for once. As I said, let's give it time. I can't tell you everything here, but I know that the Zephyr guys are very, very well organized, and they will play a very big part in what's happening in the future. So thank you very much, everyone, for watching.